The match that we are speaking of that we had skipped earlier was Kamille versus Kris Statlander. And again, I thought, well, here's a chance we can evaluate Kamille, and there wasn't anything the matter with the match, but boy, howdy did the booking get in the way. First of all,
What
remember,
booking?
well, yeah, it was like they kind of just made it up as they went along, but the booking, if you can call it that, of this thing is completely, again, they've Wardlowed Kamille already. I'll not get ahead of myself. The point is, Statlander was from Alpha Centauri.
No.
Or Andromeda.
The Andromeda Galaxy. That's
yes.
Right. In Suffolk County.
And then she actually became a real person after she had a couple of injuries, as I recall. And of late, when we've had a chance to see her, she had kind of the jeans thing going on. She had a youngish type of look. She was a baby face. She's got good size. She can do shit. We're like, why don't they do something with her instead of this fucking Mercedes moon? And now she came out and she looks like she moved back to outer space. And the gimmick is, it's a complete departure. And all these people show up. There used to be a rule in the WWF, you couldn't get a fucking tattoo without office approval. You couldn't get a new set of tights made that was radically different from anything you've been wearing without approval, because all your publicity, your pictures, the way you're being written for, your gimmick, you don't just get to, oh, fuck it, I'm going to be a ballet dancer this week. But now she's back to tights. She's got face paint on. It looked outlawed. It looked like she's trying to be from outer space again. Suddenly, for no reason, no explanation. So they had a match. They were serious. They were fairly stiff. It was a big girl match. Who's the most powerful? Kamille hit a great leg lariat. You know, the old David Schultz thing. She jumped up, stuck her leg out, and sat on the fucking guy. Or on the girl, I should say. Well, Schultz usually did it to a guy. Nevertheless. And then they went back and forth a little bit. And then Kamille went for a tombstone, and Statlander reversed it and tombstoned her. 1, 2, 3. They beat Kamille. I was like, what the fuck? And Shivani's like, oh my God, this is a big upset. Kamille was 5-0. Big fucking deal. She just got there. They beat her already? It's...
Well, you had to know they were going to beat her when they were using her as a setup for the Mercedes Moné match for Statlander.
That's the exact problem. Is Mercedes is attached to this, and the only way, I think it's safe to say, you can't disagree that for the money that they have paid, especially if what we are told is even remotely true, that Mercedes Moon has been the biggest bomb, in the biggest turkey, as Jackie Gleason would say, we laid an egg with that one, that there's ever been. But now they bring Kamille in. They could have gotten heat on Mercedes with Kamille. If Kamille is established as the Diesel, the bodyguard, or Big Bubba, instead of Big Bubba Rogers, she's Big Bubba Gump. Is she? It's already over. Kamille.
But she's got great shrimp.
Well, yeah, and you know what? She's standing next to the shrimp, Mercedes. But Kamille could have won this with Mercedes reaching in and goddamn doing something and interfering, and Kamille gets a win. But the heat still goes to Mercedes and Statlander, but nobody wants to see Mercedes do any fucking thing or wrestle anybody. But if they were going to try to put some heat on her, then Kamille could have propped her up. But now they're beating, and then she beats Kamille to Statlander, And then Mercedes knocks Statlander out from behind with one shot with a belt. She's going to lay there for the next 2 minutes. Mercedes gets the microphone and yells at Kamille, "Get to the back now!" Like a whipped puppy. And then Mercedes says, if you want something done right, do it yourself. She's already burying the bodyguard. And then to do something herself, she pulled Statlander's head up, showed her the belt, and then dropped it. And then the music played, and she stood there doing nothing, which is what she's good at. But again, Kamille 5-0. Well, goddamn, until she was 25 or 30-0, then they shouldn't have a goddamn match with her and somebody they don't want her to beat. Do you have any idea how many 0 guys and girls used to be in the wrestling business when they brought them in and put them on television to get them over?
No, and again, they're doing some of the things now that you would see maybe with like a Shawn and Diesel after a couple of years. They've been together for weeks.
Yes.
And they're already doing all these things. Diesel didn't lose for a long time. Diesel wasn't just losing matches to set up people for Shawn right away.
Or China.
So it's ridiculous that, I mean, they took all whatever Kamille was supposed to bring, they kind of took all of that away because of the way they've booked her. So now she's just a big girl standing there at Mercedes. She's not a threat. She can lose matches. And yes. Statlander was as big as she was.
And Mercedes...
After Queen Aminata, it's 2 weeks in a row they put Kamille in there with women that were as big, if not taller than her.
And also, Mercedes is not even particularly confident in her now, telling her off. So, and remember I said then the job girls have been pushing her around. So that was a chance to make something out of Mercedes, because if she wasn't coming off as such an entitled bitch that actually believes she's over, I would feel embarrassed for her at how over she's not. But, my God, and she's got nothing but problems, Mercedes. For all that money she got paid from Tony, did you hear about her financial issues?
I don't have any idea what you're talking about, no.
She overdrew her account at the sperm bank. Anyway, so we're going to move on now.
That's a good idea.
So
That's
it's
a really
time.
Good idea. Let's move on from the sperm bank. What's next on the show, Jim?